to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check. Mic check. Waifu, waifu. Ma, tell him. Is that you?
Oh yeah, 201. What's up?
This is episode 201 of Mic Check Waifu Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Lou Complex and Don'tTalkShop.com, as well as produced by our Patreon producers over at patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Shout out to Dre the Goat, G, Johnny from Shogo High, Ked the Pro from Chaotic Culture, and Shogo High explicitly, Monique Williams, Nachi, and Saphir. Thank you so much for producing this and many other episodes of the podcast. We truly appreciate you. Make sure you guys go to patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu Waifu and get early access to the video version of this podcast, to get access to the After Story podcast. We just released the episode. There will another episode coming soon. Also, get access to our read-alongs, watch-alongs, etc., behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on with Mic Check Waifu Waifu. We truly appreciate y'all for supporting us. It's only $1 or above, you know. We appreciate y'all for supporting us there over at patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Another thing, make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Was where you can get the video version up later for everybody else for free. Of the podcast, other stuff as well, you know, other content, other individual conversations there. Make sure you check us out there. We appreciate that. Okay. Montel, welcome to episode 201.
Oh yeah, bro.
How'd you feel about last week's episode? The revisiting, reintroduction and revisiting episode.
There's always something about when we do the reintroduction, the revisits and stuff that are just like refreshing, I guess is what it is, right? Yeah. Like we just refreshed the podcast essentially when we did that. So for me, it's like I like to think of it as like, think of a tune up for us. Like it's something that's like keeping us more in tune, keeping everything that we think about in terms of what we personally like, because a lot of this ain't always personal when we do this podcast. So it's kind of one of those things where we really get to tune it up and keep up to date with what we 100%, you know, really into and what we vibe with. So it was nice. How about you, bro?
Yeah, I always feel like the reintroductions do feel great, man. It's what I like about them is that the fact that all of the reintroduction episodes are all different. So reintroduction 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. They're all very different from one another. Yes, we do reintroduce ourselves and talk about, you know, who we are and what we do and everything like that. But it's always something on top of that feels so well done as far as like just refreshing. Kind of, it's gonna sound tacky, but kind of like our friendship too, of how long we've been doing this and how long we've been together with just about almost everything. It's dope, man. It's a dope feeling. I do like those reintroductions episodes probably more than even I should.
Not to say they are, because they're not necessarily our biggest episodes, but they are 100% like I feel like they're our biggest personal connection with some of our, you know, our listeners. For sure. Especially since they come at a time where we feel like it's like we have so many episodes of this show. Like we hear every week, it's 201 episodes now. And like, there's going to be people that find this podcast and that listens to it and it's like, oh, okay. All right. I like this. You know what I'm saying? So what better way to bring people in and to reintroduce them? So specifically, so they don't have to go to episode 1. now while I'm proud that we did it, is, you know, it's not our best work, you know, so you can come to the reintroductions to get reacquainted with us in a better, more, I would say, a thoughtful way, I guess. You know, outside of that, how you been doing this week though? So I'm always good, bro. Basically, this week has been a bit of relaxing. We worked out and stuff like that. Hopefully not worked out too hard, but we worked out.
It was hard.
It's been a good week. Let's see. I've been chilling. I'm kind of contemplating on how to do a couple of things though, right? I told you about some things I want to do, possibly for Get Locked In and Mic Check Waifu as a combination.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get to that point. But I'm still working on some stuff. Gears in motion.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
What's going on with you, bro? How's your week been?
Fantastic. Outside of that incident the other day, where I know I saw on Twitter, I said I think I might have to go to the hospital because I tweaked my back so bad, and it was so fucking bad, and it wasn't because of the workout. Wow, that probably escalated it a little, but it was all the way I tweaked it. It was a taking out Saber situation, and him running down the stairs, and he pulls me in a way that I shouldn't have been able to turn. Like it just wouldn't, no possible, no amount of flexibility should allow your body to turn that way. But I did it, and I tweaked my back. I was laid the fuck out for a full day. Just didn't even get out of bed, just gone. And that just goes to show I'm old, man. I'm fucking old. I don't feel it, but we are getting older, man. We are getting older.
Yeah, we are getting older, but you're not old, bro. I think that exactly what you said, that you just wasn't supposed to turn that way. It's like Saber turned you into a Beyblade that wasn't supposed to turn that direction.
Yo, straight up. Because if I didn't turn the way I turned, it would have either been me flipping over the railing,
which could have been worse.
Yeah, which could have been worse, or me literally falling down the stairs, and that would have been probably even worse than flipping over the railing, to be honest, because these are stone stairs, so that shit will hurt. But yeah,
these are stone stairs.
Yeah, I would have probably died. But it's all good though. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling a lot better. Hopefully, I get back to the gym at the end of this week, because technically this goes out on Tuesday, which is going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. It's always a good time, man. It's always a good time.
You want to say something about your numbers that you put up? I ain't want to necessarily post it directly without saying them, but you want to say something about your numbers?
I mean, it's deadlift a little 295, a little sham.
A little 295.
A little 295. You know what I'm saying? No, I was I don't know if Nachi will want me to say this, but I was chatting with Nachi on Twitter, and he said, man, he wish he was in Houston so he could take your program. I'm like, man, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic program. I'm telling y'all, it's great. It's great. I've been feeling great. Outside of that, man, like I've been down 7 pounds. I've been fluctuating between 7 and 8 pounds down, but I've been feeling great. I just been feeling better, and that's what I think is the most important.
It is by all means, leaps and bounds. As long as you feel good, that's all that matters. Yeah, everything else fall in line after that. Yeah,
the soreness, man. I'll take the soreness. I'll take all that shit, because just feeling great has been my priority, to be honest, and I do feel a lot better. All right,
I love it.
Now let's talk about what we came here to talk about. This is an anime podcast brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. CDT. We cover seasonal anime as we often do. Before we get into a topic, because we do have a topic today, I want to kind of like touch bases on Tell, because a couple of episodes ago we did making the cut. What shows we feel like could possibly be cut, or what shows can continue to be watched, and how are you feeling? Just a little slight update, because I know next week is probably going to be our midterms, because everything is going to be in the middle. But how are you feeling about the make a cut portion of that?
So I've kind of already cut some stuff from my list, but hear me out, right?
And the list was already short, so I'm intrigued to hear what this is.
The only stuff I've cut was like Ranking of Kings, only because I want to watch it all the way through.
Okay. Yeah.
Essentially, I did cut Mashal, but I just recently watched an episode. And hear me out, bro. It was good. So now I'm like torn, because I kind of want to go back and watch the next episode, and I'll be caught up if I watch episode 6.
So let's talk about this then. What let's do something different than episode of the week. What was your most interesting episode of the week? Not episode of the week per se, or it could be whatever you thought was the best too. But what was the most interesting for you?
I gotta say, it's some good episodes this week too. It's always some good episodes this week. Sheesh. The one that stands out the most for me right now. Damn, Hell's Paradise was good.
Most interesting to you?
Oshinoko.
That's a good one. That was a very good episode.
And it's these some of these character interactions, but it's more about like those monologues, right? Like when the episode started and you saw the conversation taking place, and it was like it wasn't in sync with what was actually happening, right? Like it was in sync, but it wasn't. That what was happening was already happening, and the conversation was happening. Like the monologue was over that, right? The overlay of the monologue.
Before you continue, I just want to say, I want to pause here just to say I'm so proud of my brother. Okay, my little bro, because he used to spoil everything right off the bat. if y'all are OG listeners, but he restrained himself. He talked in generalities, and I just want to say I appreciate that.
But it was the context, right?
Yes, well, beautifully said.
We talked about cliffhangers before, right? And even like I will even say like My Home Hero has toned down their cliffhangers a bit. Maybe it could be just because it's less interesting now at this point. But the cliffhangers don't seem so heavy there, right? But it could be because of the cliffhanger they left us with, and they just jumped right into like kind of this here. And the conversation that happens as everything transpires was just like, it felt like watching a live action movie almost. Yeah. It felt like high end cinematography. So I loved it. And that episode, that alone had me zoned in. And then the other stuff that happened as we introduced other characters and stuff.
For sure. I would say the most interesting episode, and I remember it's not necessarily the best episode, because obviously for me personally, the best goes to Demon Slayer. But the most interesting for me was Dead Mount Death Play. While it definitely took a tonal shift and it's kind of slowed down a bit, I am more intrigued and more interested in this show than I was previously in the previous episodes because of the route that they're taking and where they're going with it. Dead Mount Death Play decided to do something different, and shout out to Black Damzilla. This is his sleeper that had me very intrigued, man. Very intrigued. And I also want to just give a random shout out to Rob J. His sleeper, My Cheat Skill. He was the one that chose the sleeper. That's why I thought it was yours for some reason. He was the one that chose My Cheat Skill. That show is so fucking good too.
It's fire.
It's just so good. So shout out to Black Damsel and Rob J. Their sleepers is hitting this week.
But Drift and Play said something about Dead Mount Death Play on Twitter to me. He said that basically, what I said to him was, I hope that the character introduced in the end is the demon that we need for this show. Because I feel like that could wholly progress this show in a route that we will enjoy. But it depends. It depends, bro.
Yeah, I was more interested in the fact that at the situation that they're in now, because now it's going to be, it's either a adversary or a temporary alliance. It's like it's just more intrigue. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes it more so interesting to me.
There's different possible routes.
Exactly. But on the flip side, I will say the Heavenly Delusion fucking sucks. And I don't care what nobody say. This show is kind of poop. I'm so fucking bored with it. I'm so tired of whatever the fuck they're trying to do. It's frustrating because it's something that we haven't gotten in a long time, probably since Promised Neverland season 1, that had like this kind of like mysterious, it's mysterious post-apocalyptic scenario situation, but it's just it's fucking boring, man. It's so boring. There's nothing intriguing about it, or I don't know. It's just this is the show, okay, and this happens every season. There's always this one show where I'm watching it and I'll just look down at my phone. And that's a problem because this is subbed. So I'm looking down at my phone and I was just, I pause it and I look down at my phone and I'm on my phone for 10 minutes and I look back up and I'm like, all right, let me finish this shit. And I'm kind of like just gassed on watching it. Like I don't want to. It's the only thing. It's the only thing during the week where I'm just like, okay, let me just get this shit out the way, and it takes me an hour to finish one episode.
So hear me out. I entirely understand, bro. I entirely understand. I think that this is another show that is significantly better as a binge.
Absolutely.
But if it was dub, if it was like a simul dub, it would be easier to ingest because yes, this is one of those shows that they're not pushing or developing that story fast enough. There's so much more they could be giving us, or at least make the characters more interesting. Yeah. These characters, and hear me out, these are some of the most bland main characters I've ever had to digest in a long time, bro. That's
my point. On both sides, on both, the side, the school and this side. It's like, ugh.
I feel like I just talked about this with someone. It might have been you and someone else, but like even with like Ranking the Kings, right? Boji is kind of one of the most boring characters in his show, right? Mm-hmm. But now you have this situation in Heavenly Delusion where it almost feels like both the main characters are boring. The world would almost be more interesting if you just looked at the world and took them out of it. Yeah, so like I almost feel better if this had been like a case of the week kind of episode, and we just had new characters every episode almost, where we just learned about the world. Yeah, I don't even know what to look at this show as, and how I don't feel like I'm actually developing anything in this show.
This goes to the point that I made last week. The point that I made last week is that the characters have to be interesting for the world to be interesting. The world in Heavenly Delusion is so fucking interesting. It is so intriguing. Like that's what's making me wanting to watch it. But the characters are what sucks, and that's what making me not enjoy it. And that's the point that I always make. The characters are the most important piece of a TV show. Period. And I'll stand by that. I'll die by that, because like I said, you can have the greatest world, but if the characters are just boring to look at when they're on screen, and the conversations that they have feels like they repeat over and over and over and over again, and it makes no progress, it's kind of wasting my time.
And why did dude turn into Denji from Chainsaw Man?
Straight up.
I mean, and hear me out. I get it. You know what I mean? He young. He's interested in women. This person just not even a woman, bro.
Shit got weird, bro.
Something in my mind made me feel uncomfortable. Like, you said you're not a woman, so I'm not gonna treat you like one. That's just is what it is. I'm good on that. So yeah, it's I don't know, bro. It's an interesting concept, but I feel like the execution on this is clearly not as good as the Hell's Paradise executioners and sword testers, because they be cutting through shit. Sure. Apparently in Heavenly Delusion, they don't quite do that yet.
I wanna hear Rob tell me I'm wrong about these characters being fucking so bland.
Maybe they get better, bro.
Possibly. Probably not.
But what did he tell you?
So Rob J hit us up when we had that what was it? It was about Heavenly Delusion, and we were just kind of speculating on what the school is, and how we feel like that's like a different timeline than my guess was that Heavenly Delusion, the school part, was the past, and something got out of that school part and made the world what it is today. And he said, well, y'all super wrong about it. And I'm like, well, he said that they're congruent timelines. They're running congruently. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but what we said was more interesting. Like, if it's just these two timelines running parallel, why are we jumping back and forth? What's the point?
I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. I feel like more disappointed that you just said that.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's not that interesting now. It's even less interesting than what we initially thought.
Like, if these are congruent timelines, and now I care about the other part of the timeline even less.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, why are they in that facility in the first place?
Exactly. I want to find the exact tweet he says so I can quote it properly.
Because if that is congruent, I don't know, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. This is one of those shows that I kind of feel like I'd be better off just reading and getting it over with.
Probably it's probably actually a better read than watch, to be honest.
Yeah, because maybe they can give us more detail, fill us in. You know, because I feel like I also just saw somebody said about Hell's Paradise. Like, Hell's Paradise, no, that's what it was. Gumbo Goon, Gumbo Pat. he just said that Hell's Paradise, they just cut this most recent part into 2 episodes, or they don't have to cut it in 2 episodes because this was like all one chapter. And because the chapters are so thick, you know, they've been kind of doing it, but they said Hell's Paradise has just been really good, but it's just the manga is way more detailed. So I'm like, if it is, that's dope. I wouldn't mind reading it once I'm done, but I just feel like it's so good right now, I can't read it yet.
Right. I want to fucking find it. Oh, I got to go to our replies. Yeah. So, yeah. If Hell's Paradise is even more detailed than that, then that manga is probably even more incredible. Because that shit is fantastic, man.
Oh yeah.
So far, and they're going into extreme detail about a lot of shit. To be fair,
it's not even about the detail a lot of times, right? It's more about the detail they gave us and then what they left out. Because like that creates closure. That creates a space for us to think about what could be. And sometimes that's enough to push the story forward. And I feel like that's where Heavenly Delusion is doing wrong. They're leaving too much closure without enough detail.
And here is what Rob J said. He said, this February 25th, he said, y'all are wrong about Heavenly Delusion. I respect y'all opinions, though. There aren't flashbacks. Those are 2 different things going on at the same time. 2 storylines that are just now starting to come together with the baby man-eaters being revealed at the school. And I replied, our thoughts was way more interesting.
So the babies are man-eaters? I feel like he just kind of spoiled us. Is that spoiler?
No. Because they're the monsters that we see in the regular world, which is clear. But I thought it would have been cooler if those, you know, if the school was the reason why the man-eaters existed, because they're trying to do some experimental shit. Like that would have been more interesting than what we got so far. But this shit is fucking just whack. Especially bouncing back and forth between the 2. Like, what the fuck is the point, man? Just give me something and take me somewhere. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm over it. I'm over it, but I'm still gonna watch it just so I can like say, yeah, this show is bad.
Heavenly Delusion is the parent that ask you, do you got McDonald's money, and then take you home, and then don't have no food.
Yeah, not the McDonald's money.
No offense, Rob J. No offense, bro.
This shit got a 79 right now. Maybe we're just wrong.
I'm cool with being wrong. I'm cool with being wrong.
Straight up.
It also could be our taste. We have a similar taste in this, and I know I came into this one liking it more than you. And now I feel like this is like, I feel like I'm almost being trolled here watching this show. Like I have not seen anything interesting in a while.
Yes. I think the most interesting thing we got was when we discovered that he can dive into him and fuck him and blow up the man-eaters, basically.
Yeah. I guess technically that was the one good second of the show when whatever, but
when we learned about that. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, listen, if this show turns out to be a fantastic wrap by the end, I will gladly say, like I said about the Attack on Titan thing in that episode, we were wrong about this. We were wrong about this, and proudly. You know,
they're gonna hit us with a love flops.
This is something that, you know, we ain't never got a problem with saying we wrong about something, but I feel confident that we are not wrong about this one. This one's gonna turn out to be
Yuki Water.
Yes, quite the average show, which is fine. Ain't nothing wrong with being average. I will give it a 6 on our scale because it looked good. It's pretty. The world is very interesting. Characters suck.
Yeah, the characters is what really drags it down for me. Because the character is sitting at like a 2, and that's just because there's 2 of them.
There's more than that because you keep forgetting about the school.
No, they get a point for the character, for the main 2 main characters. Yeah. That's it. The world, it could be like a 7. Animation is like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, the animation's fire. The animation looks sick. There's some moments where they be moving.
But those are moments. We talking about like the consist. It ain't consistently high. I can't say high octane, but it's like it's not consistently looking like the action parts of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have moments where they dial back the animation, obviously, and it just looks okay.
Yeah. All right. Now let's slide to this topic. Sorry to go on that little rant. Dangerous in My Heart has also been fantastic. I just want to throw that out there. I'm going to give that love every week if I can. All right. Anyway.
Dangerous in My Heart. Let me write that down real quick because I keep forgetting to watch that.
It's very interesting. It's very neat, man. Very neat. At first you're like, oh, what the fuck? And then it's like, okay, all right. What you got? for the topic. Tell has the topic today, by the way.
All right. Polo didn't have anything to do with this topic.
Yeah, I ain't had shit.
Scrolling through Instagram, and I see a post talking about the highest budgeted anime, top 10 highest budgeted anime. And I'm looking, I'm like, the 10th one is $80,000 an episode, bro.
The 10th one?
10th place is $80,000 per episode.
God damn.
For the most expensive and highest budgeted anime. Are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
So the top 10 most expensive anime series of all time, how much they cost to produce?
Starting from 10 up.
Yeah, starting from 10 up. You want to take a wild guess first. You want to take a guess at what's number 10?
Dragon Ball Z.
One Punch Man. All right. Really? One Punch Man from 2015, $80,000 per episode. But guess what follows that up from 2019? Number 9.
I don't know.
Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer.
At number 9?
Now you gotta remember, this is 2019. This is the release season. Ufotable probably wasn't charging them everything out their bag. You know, I don't know.
Ufotable was expensive before Demon Slayer, though. I thought. At least I thought.
That's what I thought. Unlimited budget works, but 80,000 per episode. That's wild, right?
Crazy.
But I mean, also you got budget in voice actors, stuff like that. So maybe, you know, we look at it. Ufotable wasn't all of that budget.
That's so crazy.
Next, with 90,000 since 1999,
Dragon Ball Z.
One Piece.
Oh, okay. I could have guessed that.
And hear me out though. Hear me out. Why? Is it just because of seasoned seniority? That's got to be it though, right?
Quantity
of characters and people working on the show. That's what it is.
I just think it's just so much. Like they contracted so much. They're probably like, you know, I don't know. Yeah. I'm fabricating shit. I'm trying to make it make sense. One
Piece busts out an average of $9,000 per episode. The massive number of battles being the main culprit for the budget. Keeping in mind that the show has over 1,000 episodes, 20 OVAs, 14 movies, and the amount spent that much more impressive. That's wild, though.
That's a lot of money.
Imagine $90,000 an episode for 1,000 plus episodes is wild. And I mean, obviously not every single episode, but they're evening it out over 1,000 episodes.
Right.
That's crazy money. That's crazy. Next one, Naruto Shippuden for $100,000 per episode.
I can see that.
And especially when you take in the choreography, because some of their fight choreography has quite literally been, come on,
the smoothest shit you'll ever see.
Yeah, and it's the contact. Some of those fights you feel the contact on them.
True.
After that is My Hero Academia, $110,000 per episode. Now, are we also looking at, and this is the one thing, because they did have a studio transition, didn't they?
Yes.
So, I mean, I can see it, but I almost feel like, I don't know, like when did the budget go up that high? Because I almost feel like I preferred the season 1 animation over what we currently getting.
Because
season 1 and season 2.
I think. Damn, it's tough, man. It's tough to say. Because again, this is averaging all of the seasons together, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. So,
I got a feeling that the beginning seasons was probably worth more. And that kind of like back ended, and that's why they changed. I don't know. I'm just making shit up. I have zero clue of where we're going with this list. And this is blowing my fucking mind. It's leaving me speechless, to be honest. I'm flabbergasted, dude. I'm seriously flabbergasted.
You said Dragon Ball Z like 3 times.
I know.
What do you want to think? What do you think next one is?
I have no idea.
You don't want to say Dragon Ball Z?
Dragon Ball Z.
It's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Get the fuck out of here.
With $120,000 per episode, bro.
Ugly ass show.
And hear me out. I entirely agree. I hate the look of this show.
ugly as fuck. But I mean, I guess it don't stop the fact that the animation is fire.
It's got to be the animation. Mm-hmm. It's got to be the voice acting because they're over extravagant. The sound design in the show isn't bad either. The music is actually pretty solid. They also
got to license the music. I was just about to say that. Some of that shit they got.
They had Pony. Come on, bro. they did it. So I mean, I understand, but this one, Polo, this one's gonna blow your mind, bro. This one's gonna blow your mind. This one, I saw this one and I was like, ain't no way. Right? There's no way for $140,000.
Sword Art Online.
I would love if it was Sword Art Online.
That was my guess when we got high on the list.
Black Clover.
What?
Black Clover.
Ain't no fucking way.
$140,000 per episode.
Stop playing, dude. Stop. That's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It's ugly. It doesn't even
look good. All he does is yell. Anybody could do that.
But nothing was animated well in that show. Nothing.
Not even the biggest fights they had. They were all like mad average. Not even average. They were bad.
Yeah, I remember that time when you told me about the Julius fight between him and the High Elf or whatever the fuck it was.
I read it.
Yeah, I know. And you said it's just going to look fire. It's just going to look fire. And I'm watching it and I'm like, damn, they fucked this up. Because
they made me feel like a liar.
Yeah, because if Tail said this shit was going to be fire, it should have been fire. And it wasn't. It just wasn't.
But even if you look at like the choreography in the fight, the choreography wasn't the bad part. It was the actual animation, like how they made it look.
Yes.
It was like they just developed it poorly. That's all. That's all right.
And that's Bones? That's Periot, right?
That's Periot. Yeah.
They charge too much.
So guess who clocking in at 150,000?
Who?
In third place with 150,000, our friends over at JJK.
Okay, Mappa.
150,000.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yes, 100%.
And let's just throw Chainsaw Man in because I think Chainsaw Man is right at that same value, right?
Yep.
Chainsaw Man, I think they said it was like 150,000 per episode.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
That's right. I'll take it for JJK 100% because it looked like it's 150,000 per episode.
Very expensive, yeah.
The voice acting, the motion on it, everything. I'll take that for 150,000. The sound design, everything.
Absolutely.
On it. All right. Second place, technically, only because it has more episodes. 150,000. Guess which one this is? You hate the animation on this one.
Mob Psycho.
CGI.
Mob Psycho?
Attack on Titan.
Oh no, it was only that last season or the final season, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
I'm talking about the CGI though. Once they start implementing the CGI, you ain't like none of that, right?
Just the CGI, yeah. No, that should look bad.
But 150,000.
That's about right. Yeah, because Wit was before that. When Wit had it, it was gorgeous, beautiful ass show.
Yes,
and that makes sense. And they probably went to Mappa because Mappa probably charged less, to be honest.
And hear me out. Our first place, the most expensive anime per episode, $160,000 per episode. I'm gonna let you take a guess on this one. You said Dragon Ball Z how many times?
17 million times. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Super.
It's Dragon Ball Super. And hear me out. It's got to be the voice actors, bro. It's got to be, right?
Super was fucking. I tried to watch it. I couldn't.
When Dragon Ball Super first came out, it had some of the worst animation. They literally had to go back and redo the animation.
Oh,
like
really?
They literally remember when we went to go see the Dragon Ball Super movie.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did was they took that and put it in the anime, but made it look worse.
Crazy.
Like, have you never saw those memes where Beerus was looking like a 2D figure without a mouth, and he just looked like a stupid cat? Like it just did not look right. $106,000 per episode. It's got to be the voice actors.
Yeah.
Now,
and yeah.
Now, hear me out. And it's not even saying like Toei Animation can't do amazing, because they do some amazing things. Some of my favorite anime fights are in Dragon Ball Super, but I mean that's if we just going straight meathead. But it's not, a lot of that's not worth it because Goku's just yelling. Why are you getting paid so much to yell as Goku? But where I kind of want to expound on this at, right? How do you feel after just hearing that list? How do you feel about that? What?
The only thing I say that took me for a loop was Black Clover, because a lot of scenes in Black Clover look like Seven Deadly Sins from when they were fucking that up. That's why I'm mad confused on where that money's going per episode for that. Yeah, like why the fuck would Perry? I think they can charge that much. I don't know. Maybe it's just the amount.
The issue is that they can charge them because Studio Perry has good animation when they pay that one animator that does really well. So it's like the budget has to go somewhere else. So that's what kind of where I want to kind of like talk about in this list, right? There's a lot of really high tier anime that would be in a lot of people's like top 10, top 20, whatever, top 5 even, right? Probably not ours, but the principle I'm trying to get to is, do you feel like some of these value at that much?
Boy, I can't say because I'm not an animator. I don't know what their time is worth. I don't know the process it takes to animate. But I will say this: the quality of some of those shows, when you have something that's like JJK with Black Clover inches behind them when it comes to the price, that's confusing. You got Demon Slayer at the very bottom. Again, maybe it's the number of episodes, but still you got Demon Slayer at the bottom where JJK is third. I feel bad for Ufotable, because Ufotable, meaning they ain't paying their artists and their talent enough money.
Now, I also think that, like, and that's what I'm saying is like, because this is overall production value, right? Like I said, this ain't just animation.
Sure.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out is, if we break it down, let's say, and I'm not sure, I'll have to look. I don't even have Demon Slayer on my list. It's something I watched. But let's say, for instance, we talk about Demon Slayer, right? Are some of those voice actors relatively newer? You know what I mean? Is the sound design team relatively newer and they're just blowing it out the water? It's like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what gauges and I guess technically we would need a professional to really find out like who's in this. Right. Maybe one day we'll get them on the podcast. But it's like, we talk about the budget of these things, and like you even talk about budgets, like one day we'll probably talk about budgets on video games.
Sure.
You think about all the different things that go into the budgeting of these anime, and you like, and it's not even I'm not even trying to show like favoritism, but like you said, like JJK, I can understand JJK getting 150,000, but I almost feel like they deserve more, especially looking at this list.
I agree, because
the sound design in it was through the roof. Even if we just talk about, like I said, the voice actors alone, the overall overarching sound, like just the sounds that were made in the anime when no one was talking. You know what I mean? Like the planners and the directors for this show, I feel like, I don't know, bro. I feel like they need to cut these checks a little bit higher. If Black Clover is getting 140,000,
right?
I think they need to go ahead and throw JJK that extra 40,000. Just go ahead and round it out to 200.
That's what 50. That's why having this topic is so hard, because we literally know nothing about the process of this. So again, we're talking out of our ass with this, but it's just an interesting conversation to have, because when you think about it, like TV shows, they run about 300,000 an episode for certain stuff, and that's obviously paying actors, producers,
for likeness and stuff like that.
All that shit, yeah. So I think anime is underselling itself, as far as like how much they should charge. Now, when you think about 150,000 in the yen aspect of it, exactly. When you translate that to yen, that may be just a lot more money, because of the dollar is just so much stronger. So they could be appropriately compensated, but to me personally, when you talk about US dollars, do they deserve more? Yes. Except for probably Black Clover. But but everything else, yes, I do believe they deserve more money than that per episode.
And the reason I'm kind of like, I really want to talk about this topic too, is because exactly what you said, like American TV shows, right? What's a really big TV show is what, like, currently is
I know you talk about like how much people I think Friends, they were making like a fucking 500,000 each per episode. Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah. So let's see really quick. Friends production cost, right? $10 million per episode, bro.
Yeah. Yep. They were getting fucking paid, bro.
And hear me out. I understand. Like, where's most of Friends' viewership is in the US, right?
Mm-hmm.
I understand that while it may be a universally loved show, they watch it in other countries and stuff like that. I think that anime is getting to the point to where it is so heavily viewed, it's getting more and more viewership, that these budgets got to go up. Even if we got to pay more for our streaming sites,
right?
That kind of stuff. Because I pay, I think $3 less, $4 less for Crunchyroll than I do for Hulu,
bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I pay a total of $15 for Crunchyroll and High Dive, and I pay what, $18 for Netflix when I had it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so it's like, what's another show? Power, right? Power is another currently Extreme Power, pretty heavily viewed show.
It's gonna be way less than Friends, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, of course, it's Friends.
We're looking it up now. I'm not cutting the pauses out, by the way. So
okay. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? So that show's first season was roughly between production value cost is $100 and $150 million.
Oh, in total.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that, like, for instance, that anime has to cost that much, right? Because I think that clearly Japan is still trying to save. But I think that the infrastructure needs to change in terms of how these companies are being paid. Mm-hmm. And like I said, that's kind of why I really, really want to look into this, because it's almost like if you really look at this and then look at the how vast and how fast anime is spreading in terms of its viewership. Yeah, Black Clover probably does deserve 140,000, but that also means that now we're looking at JJK, mm-hmm. even Chainsaw Man, even Heavenly Delusion that we just talked about was not even necessarily great to us. Shit, I think it deserves more than 140,000 that Black Clover is getting.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that to downplay what those shows have done or anything like that. But yeah, give JJK 500,000 an episode. I think these people deserve it.
Yeah, we also got to think though. We are in a bubble.
Yeah,
in a bubble of in a sphere of people who watch anime. Almost everybody we associate with watch anime. That does not account for the viewer. The viewership for anime is not nearly as big as it could or should be. Even with its growth, it's still not nearly as enough as a TV show, for instance, as a syndicated fucking TV show. So while we are kind of talking out of our ass with them needing to be paid more, it's just not enough viewership there for them to warrant $10 million an episode. Not even $1 million an episode. You know what I mean? So
a poll from 2021 said 2.88 billion people watched anime in 2021.
No, that's not individually based. That's just probably the amount of anime consumed. But that's 2-point-something billion people. That doesn't even make. It's
100 million households. Over 100 million households. Yeah. So that's including people in certain different households. And it says that it said over 100 million households globally had watched at least one anime title on Netflix. So yeah, what you're saying is basically right. So at least over 100 million people or 100 million households had at least one anime watched in their Netflix. So that does put it a lot more into perspective as well, right? Yeah. Because if you have Netflix, you're not just watching anime. Correct. You probably watch like 5 other shows, and I can't even tell you the last time I turned on my Netflix. But
either, to be honest,
it's there. You know what I mean?
Black Mirror coming back though, so I got to turn it on for that.
Facts. But like Hulu, I'm always on Hulu. Hulu has a ton of anime that I watch.
Because it's just Funimation, by the way.
Yeah, but it has a ton of anime that I'll watch, and then you have I watch Abbott Elementary. But it's like it's there are shows on there that clearly, if you have these streaming sites, you're going to watch a lot of stuff. So I guess that does kind of skew the numbers a bit to actually see how many people actually view this.
You want to gauge that number properly? Look at Crunchyroll subscribers. That's the best way to kind of possibly gauge who's watching anime. And again, even still, it's just not enough. It's just not enough, sadly. I wish everybody in the world can watch anime. Half of my Twitch chat, don't know what the fuck are we be talking about whenever anime comes up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so crazy to even think about, but we are in this bubble that we don't have a choice but to think about the fact that not a lot of people watch this shit.
Did you already put up the Crunchyroll subscribers numbers? 120 million.
Yeah, that's pretty good, but that's still not that's not enough. That's not enough. Not nearly enough, unfortunately. You look at a regular TV show numbers, it's like they doing
crazy, stupid numbers, and that's in the US only.
Exactly. 12 million views on a fucking episode of a show. It's crazy. It's just crazy. It's nuts, man. I can't. But what I love to see though is the fact that it is becoming more and more mainstream though.
So
good.
Side thought, right? Just came up. How, and I mean, obviously we're not business promoters or anything like that outside of ourselves. As a major corporation, how do you gauge something like anime, especially to us in the West, and make it not seem like this is only for children? How do you set that up so that people who are of all ages can watch anime? And make it so that like it's not just for the Japanese, it's not just for children, it's not just for immature people or whatever they want to set that stereotype as. Yeah. How do you promote that to just a larger audience to actually bring in that level of revenue? You know what I mean? I
think continuing what they're doing, and what I mean by that is that's instead of just because what they used to do in the past, like 2007, 2008, is they used to just get whoever they possibly could. It used to be so many of the same voices voicing characters in anime. It would be ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But now I feel like what they're doing is the people who are syndicating stuff for over here, like Crunchyroll and stuff like that, while they aren't the best, they are great at finding quality VAs, voice actors. Mm-hmm. I talked about this already. If you still having that sub and dub debate, like, oh, you still watch sub, you still watch dub, oh, you're not a real anime fan. You're 10 years behind. Because again, these voice actors are talented as fuck. I think what they need to continue to do is invest in great dub voice actors. And that alone would entice people to see something that that look interesting in a way, if they can get it in front of like more eyes by, I don't know, using other channels or just finding ways to YouTube even, like just putting more anime on YouTube for free even, I think would be a big help. Just getting people in the door would be huge as far as like attracting more people to watching this type of content.
When you say great dub voice actors, and one of the things I think of is obviously Zeno, those kind of people, Matt Mercer. But it's like for instance, Matt Mercer, he's already in kind of like mostly the nerdy field as it is, right? Most of those people who I feel like would know Matt Mercer are probably already going to either know what anime is or watch some kind of anime. Do you think that these companies should be reaching out to people like, let's say, not necessarily Johnny Depp, but like, those kind of actors?
No, it doesn't. They don't have to be a big name. Or yes, it could help, because when you think about a big name helping, you think of Invincible. Like my brother don't watch anime; he watch Invincible. You know what I'm saying? Like it's or somebody else who don't watch anime, they watch Arcane. Like the names could help, but you just need something like Arcane or Invincible or fucking what was else I was gonna say? Like just anything else. Like I think Netflix, to be honest, is the best place, to be fair, to get more eyes. But you don't need a big name. You don't need a major name. You even got Amazon Prime with Critical Role coming back. Like a lot of people who don't watch anime watch that, and they loved it.
And just the last thing, I'm gonna touch on this. Last thing, and then I want your thoughts on it. I'm looking at the production cost of Steven Universe and Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated version, right? Steven Universe had 600,000 per episode, and then Star Wars: The Clone Wars had $1 million per episode.
Yeah.
And obviously those, and I mean, and hear me out. Steven Universe, I feel like it's a huge title. I enjoyed the show, but 600,000 per episode is wild. And I mean, I do think those people deserve their money, but $600,000 per episode, I didn't know Steven Universe was bringing in that much money to do that.
I think this does, though, I think this just put in perspective how low the anime artist is paid. Like it's not that those are high; it's that anime is low. I think.
And Star Wars Clone Wars, we know that's a huge, that's Disney money. You know what I mean?
And it's animated.
That's $1 million.
It's fucking animated, brilliant. It's like a Pixar movie each episode.
Yeah. So I get that. So obviously anime has a way to go. But like I want to stick with kind of what you said, that yes, it has a way to go, but it's come a long way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very much so.
Especially within these last few years. After, and I'm not going to attribute it to like Demon Slayer, but some of these shows in that time frame, like Fire Force, Demon Slayer, and whatnot, you could see that budget start to ramp up. Right. Like they really started to put more into that budget, and that's how we got things like this new season of Bleach, and how we got Chainsaw Man and JJK to really ramp up that budget even more, and we'll start to get even more of it, and hopefully those things will just suck up the fan base and just say come watch us.
You know what show surprised me with how good it looks?
Which one?
Cheat Skill, bro.
Oh,
it's a pretty ass show.
It is, bro.
It's gorgeous. Like absolutely every character looks just brilliantly drawn. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Who is that? Is that A1 Productions?
Is it?
I'm trying to figure.
If that is, that would make sense. It is not.
It's not. Who is it? It's
Millipedes.
Oh yeah, that because it's a small group, right? Yeah. No. What's his name? Hell's Paradise is a smaller group.
Yes, Millipedes, he did Copcraft. I think we talked about this on our.
Yeah.
So they did Copcraft, and pretty much that's it.
And Copcraft was a good looking show too. It was pretty that interesting.
Right. Yes, yeah, man. This shit is surprisingly pretty. But I digress. Yeah, man. It's moral of the story. Okay, anime artist and just the production of anime deserves more money. I just think they should be paid for what they're worth, and I think they're worth. They work hard. It's hard work, and I think they just deserve more recognition and pay. Because I guess in if you a rough translation of 1.6 million yen just isn't enough for the Dragon Ball Super. Still, regardless of if I like the show or not, it's just not enough. Yeah, So. Yeah. Let's transition to some spoiler talk after the break. What were you spoiling before we go to break?
We will be spoiling Hell's Paradise,
Demon Slayer,
and probably a Galaxy Next Door.
Super cute. Yeah, we can. Episode's real cute. All right, let's do it. We'll be right back after these.
Aqui no baile, o bonde veio assim, taradão e bolado pra tacar o piru aí. Vou te pegar vodka, papo explodir teu negócio todinho. Vou te pegar vodka, papo explodir teu negócio todinho. Desce, sobe, no baile, desce, sobe, no baile do Elipa, desce, sobe, no baile, desce, sobe.
Paga pra mim.
Hoje aqui no baile o bonde veio assim, taradão e bolado pra tacar o piru aí. Vou te pegar vodka, tabu, explodir teu negócio tudinho. Vou te pegar vodka, tabu, explodir teu negócio tudinho. Explodir teu negócio tudinho. Vou explodir teu negócio tudinho. Vou explodir teu negócio tudinho.
And welcome back to episode 201 of Mic Check Waifu. That was Tell Chair, by the way. This make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at Mic Check Waifu on Twitter, and at Mic Check Waifu on Instagram and TikTok. Yeah, so we here to spoil Demon Slayer first, which will be, man, episode 5 of Demon Slayer in the Sword Village arc, which is season 3. Holy shit, bro. Where do we start with this one?
All right, so boom, right? Dude come around the corner. All right, that's not how I read it. So y'all obviously know that this anime is amazing. It started off with our boy, the Mist dude, right?
Yeah.
He pulled up and he saved Totoko, the little dude.
Oh no, yeah, we're way past that. He's
well, in the beginning of the episode, he saved him, but he's with him, and then he to Hana. I don't know how to say the name. She ran into the other swordsmith.
The other swordsmith that was working on his sword. Yeah.
Yes. He saves him, and then they takes him to his workshop where he's going to pick up his sword.
And that's where they run into that upper 5.
Yeah, they run into that other demon.
Bruh. That was fucking insanely disgusting. What he did to those swordsmiths, man.
Mm-hmm.
Put the motherfuckers in a jar and keep them alive. Ugh. Probably some of the worst torture ever.
But the worst torture part about it was what he did to demonstrate his art. As an artist, I think it was kind of creative. But as a human being, I think that was some of the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. He twisted the sword that was already into the human and recreated his death throes, or his death, basically. Tragic. I hate it. But I like how they do these demons, right?
Yeah, very creative.
All the demons, they have their own like uniquities within them, right? Mm-hmm. So this demon being who he is, kind of cool, but I hate it.
Again, Demon Slayer always does the thing where it makes you feel like, how are you going to win? These are regular just sword people, like swordsmen. How do you fight a demon like this? Like, in a literal sense, how do you do it? It's a tough task, man. It's a tough task.
But what makes it bearable is probably you and I's favorite part is the monologue when they're fighting these demons, right? Our Miss dude, Muichiro Tokito, that's his name, got it. While Muichiro is trying to essentially attack the demon, she says, "This one make sure to evade every time I attack." So clearly his head is his weakness. If I behead him, he's done, right?
Right.
Which, we don't
even know.
that could be a feint. It could mean absolutely nothing. But we do know that he spawns these pots out of nowhere. Seemingly out of nowhere. And he's trying to say he moves fast, but where do these pots come from? I love when we hear the Demon Slayers or see the Demon Slayers try and figure out what the plot is.
Right.
Like how do we overcome this? How do we circumvent this situation? We saw with Tanjiro in the 2 previous episodes and the episode before this. Every single episode is a thought process and how we're going to solve this equation, but in action, in motion. It is honestly some of my favorite parts about the show.
Yeah. Getting
to that resolution like this.
It's to be honest, it's the most intriguing part of Demon Slayer as a whole. Even when Tanjiro was doing the monologue, he was trying to figure out what the hell he was going to do about escaping the demons with Nezuko. It was intense. It was just fucking and it was believable. Everything that both the Miss Hashira and Tanjiro was in their monologuing was believable. Like, this is what we got to do. We got to figure out a way. And boy, did we figure out a way. Shout out to Tanjiro. But first, before we get to even Tanjiro, though, I want to talk about how much I just love Hashira.
Oh my goodness.
I love her so much. She's like my favorite of all time.
Wow.
She's so loving. Yes, man. And just so sweet, and just her moves is clean and smooth. It's literally how smooth she is. It's literally the most impressive thing like ever.
I felt like trash because as soon as she drew her sword, I didn't realize immediately that it was like a whip blade. Mm-hmm. I thought because it felt like as soon as she drew it, it was straight. Well, no, they didn't show her actually drawing it, right? Mm. She's running through the village and she's just cutting everything up. Right. So I'm just thinking, regular sword, she's cutting super fast, didn't know what her blade was. And then we get to the point where her blade is actually unsheathed the entire time. I was like, oh.
It's shaped like that. It's like, is it even considered a whip?
No, so it is a whip, right? Because they showed that she can resheath it. So
at the very end, yeah,
she can put it back in the sheath, so it has to be able to fold back in. So I imagine it's probably like the insect Hashira, her is probably super thin, mm-hmm. but super sharp kind of deal,
right?
And she got to use it, and she's specialized, right? Obviously, but that was dope. I was like,
so dope. So fucking dope, bro. I'm like, yo, and it was just so clean. And she did her first love form. She was so good, dude.
And she said, "No, I can never feel shivers of love from someone like you." And then he just dies. And was like,
gone.
She a demon in her own right.
Straight up demon.
Not you killing with love.
I can't wait to see where she goes now, because at this point, she technically saved the chief. So where to now for her? Probably to help Tanjiro?
Yeah, so here's my opinion, right? I think she saves Tanjiro or helps Tanjiro.
Because you don't think it's over with Tanjiro?
No, I don't think it's over with. And we will talk about that part in a little bit, because I'll tell you why I don't think it's over with. Because, whoa, it's a demon over there. But I think Muichiro, he has to die, kind of like what you said before.
Yeah, he's probably gonna die.
Yo, come on, bro.
I don't know what it was,
people
man.
getting in the way. It's always people getting in the way. He didn't have to do that. He gonna die. But I do think that it's showing his character growth. Maybe he will realize who he was or whatever before he dies.
Yep.
I feel, and hear me out, before we even get there, I'm just going to say this, because I do love Demon Slayer, but I feel like him dying this way is half-baked.
It always, yes.
Like, it's half...
I agree.
It's half-baked, bruh.
Couldn't agree more.
Why is he dying in the same way? Tenshin got poisoned. and we don't know where he at, but he ain't die. So it's like maybe he won't, but it's still like the principle of introducing that. And I get it. These are demons. They want to kill everything they touch, right? So yes, everything is going to have some poison. But you would think.
Well, they just said it numbs his limbs. It didn't necessarily say he was going to die. Like it was a poison. You know what I'm saying? If it numbs your limbs. It was a poison. Yeah, he said it just numbs your limbs though.
Nah, bro, that's a different kind of drug.
I mean, numbing your limbs is still a death sentence, to be fair.
I guess so. We'll see.
And in this particular case, he's in this water, which I think he's
the Miss Hashira. It's not gonna be a problem.
Yeah, like, I think Tanjiro gonna come. I think Tanjiro gonna come heat that shit up. And
I think he gonna use it for him because the Miss Hashira missed his water, and I think he gonna do some kind of fighting style that do
it's
something.
It's not real, bro. It's not real.
I know, but I think the movements got to make some kind of logical sense. I don't know, bro. I don't know. He gonna die. But yeah, the love Hashira, I think she gonna go save Tanjiro. But let's get to actually what Tanjiro was going through,
shit, bro. The fan dude knocked down the entire building.
Well, yeah, he was chasing Tanjiro because Nezuko was running away from the lightning.
Screw that small shit.
Hold on, okay.
Screw that small shit. He knocked down the entire fucking building, trapped Nezuko, and Nezuko gave the blood to the sword, which was fucking genius. Absolute genius. Like, I didn't even think about that until she obviously did it. So this time, he literally had real fire, and that fucking moved, bro. And then again, the inner monologue itself, this is a memory. It was so good. It was so well done. Mm-hmm. He said, I remember this happening before. And they flashed back to when he fought old boy.
And he talked about how all he could think about in that moment was the motion and how to remove their heads, right? I was like, Tanjiro's a demon. He is so raw.
Straight up.
And I saw somebody say that's my main character. And I was like, that is the main character for a reason. He is hard. But when that happened, he finally, took all those demons out and he looks over and he sees, what's his name? What's bro name?
Genya.
He sees Genya over there, got the other demon's head off, and he turned his head and Genya got demon eyes and the demon hair now, right? No, it's the same hair. It's the same hair.
Yeah. I don't know.
We know they turn people into demons. You think they got Genya before?
How?
How am I supposed to know? I'm just here watching it with you.
I have no fucking clue how that would even work.
But Tanjiro gonna have to fight Genya?
He'll fucking body Genya, by the way. So okay, so what you thinking is that the upper four is gone. You think the upper four is gone?
Realistically, I don't think so. I don't think the upper four is gone. I think the upper four is temporarily like disabled because I don't think Genya was strong enough to beat the upper four. Like he didn't have a way of permanently putting them down, as far as I know, right?
Well, he cut off his head.
Yeah, but that's not how you beat those. Remember, Tanjiro keep cutting off their heads and it didn't happen.
But it wouldn't at the same time. That was the moral of that at the end.
Yeah, right now he asked, was it at the same time? So if it is at the same time and the upper four, and then to me it looks like Tanjiro has to fight Genya, a demon Genya. That's scary, bro. And while I think Tanjiro can do it, we're talking about a demon that has been trained as a demon slayer. He knows, and I think the demons already know Tanjiro or what the other demon slayers do, right?
100%.
But to be actually in the direct understanding of how demon slayers operate, I feel like that's a scary combination to actually have to go up against.
I don't think it's that bad. What I think is the problem is that I think Tanjiro's morality is going to come into play.
Yeah, and I was thinking that same thing. Like Tanjiro won't kill him. He'll probably try and wait till sunlight.
Right. And that's going to be tough. I don't know about the upper four, man. I just don't think they're completely dead either. And that's what's bugging me the most because it's hard to know with when they set that rule up last season about, two heads had to be decapitated at the same time. When they set that rule up, I was kind of like, ugh, I didn't like it. And I didn't like it for the particular reason is because now that rule is going to be used for other demons in a way that might not if it sit right, because it don't sit right with me, to be honest.
And I agree, right? But I think that, because I don't think that's specifically the rule, right? I think every demon has their own kind of rule. Same with like the Mugen Train kind of thing, you know. These upper moons and whatnot, these upper level demons, they all have their different rules. So like that's why this demon, you can't just cut a pot and that'd be the end of him. You gotta actually, you know, he's like the basic rule, but he's super maneuverable, right? He don't need any extra gimmicks to his, because he's super hard to hit.
Because he's super gimmicky already.
Right. So maybe the gimmick was more about like the actual destruction of the tongue. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if they destroy all 4 heads and severed the tongue or something at the same time, then that would be the seesaw. But I have no idea, bro.
That's too much. Yeah, exactly.
I hope that what you're saying about them establishing that rule, I hope that they establish that rule, but only to build on it. You know what I mean?
I don't. Because now you're making up rules on top of rules. Like, just leave it at what it is.
Each demon should have their own threat level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's 4 of them right now. That's their threat level. Like, like you cut 2 of the, you cut one of their heads, it created another one. You cut another one, and it created. You know what I'm saying? That's his rule. So okay, now I gotta cut off all 4 heads, and that should be the rule. If that's the rule, that should be the fucking rule. But I know it's not. I just know it's not. It can't be. It won't be. You know, I don't know why. I feel it in my bones. I feel a jonesing in my bones, and that's not. The motherfuckers is not done. For one, obviously, because we have quite a few episodes left, and 2, you know, I feel like the Love Hashira got to do more, and I think she gonna get body too for some reason. I don't know what it is.
She be the one to die and never find her boyfriend.
Yep.
I think that's gonna be sad.
It's gonna be rough. I'm gonna die myself.
You gonna cry? I think that I mean I think you got some validity. I think I don't know, bro. They gave us the name of the preview of the next episode. It was something like, "Don't you want to be a Hashira?" or "You were going to be a Hashira." So I think it's gonna be a lot of Tanjiro talking next episode.
Or I think it's gonna be referring to Genya wanting to be because I think that's what he wanted to be.
That's what I mean. He talking gonna be a lot of that talk no jutsu to Genya, but
talk no jutsu. Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna work, bro.
Yeah, me either, man.
Demons don't care. What would they care for?
Straight up, I just don't know if he is a demon though. I don't know. I think it's something to do with that chanting, and he's in some kind of a trance right now. And when that trance ends, he's dead because he's not alive. But what could be the case is he's alive because he's still alive because he's a demon. So,
I mean, and we do know that
pregnant pause.
Oh, I'm sorry. We do know because I mean, if you click on his name, it says he is a demon hunter, demon core. He is also the younger brother of the wind pillar Shinazugawa Sanemi.
Oh, the wind. Okay.
His brother has a ton of scars on him too.
Yeah, his brother was the Hashira that you probably got confused with.
Yeah, that's why I thought he was a Hashira. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know, bro. Is he? What if his brother ain't even in the cast? So his brother ain't gonna show up.
I don't know, bro. Probably. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know either. It's a tough one to even gut check.
Tough to crack.
Yep, for sure. But let's move on to Hell's Paradise. One of the better shows in recent memory, to be honest.
This episode.
You know, people said that there's even more detail inside of the manga. And it's so intriguing to me because this shit is very detailed already. Very well put together. The fucking oh God, the dude. I thought the dude that got fucked up by that giant and that died. I thought he was a dick. I really did. I thought he was a piece of shit, but he was just trying to prove a point to our girl. Mm-hmm. And I found that to be very fucking cool. That was a cool little aspect to this entire episode. Probably my favorite part about it was him figuring out what she's about, and then her taking that and learning from it during mid-combat. with live rounds. She was fucking just figuring it out. And I fucking love that. Everything about it was brilliant. It had some Demon Slayer-esqueness to it where she was trying to find her calmness, but it really ain't. The calmness ain't really what she about, and she learning that. Like, she was beautiful, man. It was so well done.
I'm struggling not to get this episode like it's just straight up like a 10 out of 10.
Straight up.
Because visually, this episode was stunning.
Very much so.
The conceptually, like how the actual episode played out, I loved every moment of it. It when it wasn't supposed to be chaotic, it wasn't. You know what I mean? Straight
up. Yes.
And then as soon as it got chaotic, because I mean, technically, last episode we knew what we were getting into when we got to this point, right? Mm-hmm. But it wasn't all chaos the whole time. And they gave us a bit of who this character was, who the giant was. And then they started getting back into how do we defeat the giant. And then when we get the end of the giant, they gave us just enough to make us care a little bit. Like, damn, you know, like we see in how the giant acts that this is not someone that has been truly nurtured or whatever, right? This is literally just a big brute.
Spoiled brat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big brute spoiled brat who couldn't get love because he was too scared of everybody else, right? And it goes to I think kind of like, I think you may have said something like this, but when we talked about like the girl who is the last of her tribe or whatever, right?
Yeah.
The concept with that makes this part also interesting is that, like, yeah, he was killing people probably, but like, do these people really deserve to be in hell?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm saying like
he killed his entire family. He absolutely deserved to be in hell.
Yes, because he didn't understand. Yeah, he didn't understand. But like, yeah, but it pushes that concept of he didn't understand, bro.
Come on,
he just out here trying to eat. But it pushes that concept of, do all these people actually belong in hell or even hell's paradise?
Right.
And I think you made that point pretty valid with the last episode with the tribe people. But regardless of whether these people belong in hell or not, what they said was that, like, that family, the executioners, they're scared of monsters. They can be scared of anything in the world. But a criminal, they know their job. Mm-hmm. They have no fear there. They will execute a criminal like it's supposed to be. When they talked about her skill was divergent of the others. Everybody was supposed to be logical. Blah, blah, blah. No passion, just straight logic. This is how we act. This is how we do things. She is logic and she is passion, but she is what's in the middle. Mm-hmm. And that's what made it so fucking fire, bro.
So good.
Because you take the passion and that's what drives you, but you take the logic to make sure your decisions go all the way through properly.
Right.
I do gotta say, I love this show.
It was a brilliant episode.
Lessons in here.
Yeah. And I think the most interesting, like the fight between the giant and them was great. And then her coming to that realization was perfect. You sat on that perfectly. But what was so great about it was the capstone, the end. Them finding that village. That fucking that is so intriguing without being a cliffhanger that's so tacky like fucking My Home Hero was, man. Like it's fucking so well done. It's beautiful way of capturing intrigue on both sides. When you swap between that and the brothers like, oh shit, what the fuck? And these two girls are just fucking making out. and then they're like, well, who are these people? And it's just, the conversation is just, everything just flows so perfectly, man. I don't know who wrote this shit. The original creator is Yuji Kaku. You're fucking amazing, man.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. I'm trying to see if I recognize any of his other work, and I do not. He's brilliant, man. Absolutely brilliant. I'm impressed.
What's your gut check?
If we find this village, I think it's going to be skeletons. I think they're all gone and dead. But I think there's going to be what's the word I'm looking for? Knowledge. And information. Information is what's going to be there. And that information is going to be a huge part as to why they keep going. You know, and this might cause a rift between the Kunoichi and Gabimaru because the information that they're getting is they both can use it so they don't need each other anymore. So that might start a little quarrel. And then or somebody else pull up, you know, somebody else was there first, a different criminal or something. I don't know. It's very interesting now.
So here's
to
what I
check
think.
this show.
You said, yeah, it is. Here's what my kind of gut check is. I think that they introduced those two like girls kissing or whatever as kind of like a decoy, because I definitely think it's something in that hermit because they made it look completely abandoned. I feel like there has to be like something there, right? Like the information, like you said, but I think that maybe there is still a hermit there, and I think the hermit is going to resemble what they've already been slaying on the island, what looks like the gods or whatever they were saying, but it's going to be something that's more stable and able to communicate, and they can't actually get to it or kill it or whatever. Like it might just be stronger than them. Kind of like what you were seeing in the ocean, but not like as monsters, but like more closer resembling like what we see as like Buddha or anything like that.
Right. Fire, man. Fire. Hell's Paradise is great. I've been trying to get so many people hit, but I'm like, listen, if you like that meathead shit, watch this because this will blow your fucking mind because it's more than that.
More than that.
So excited about it. Since episode 1, I'm so fucking excited about this show and how good it was. It captivated me hardcore. Because I was ready to say it was boring. If it was just some straight fighting.
It is. That's all it is. I ain't seen nothing but fighting the whole time. Yeah. Verbally fighting, mentally fighting. I'm just talking
Next
shit.
up is my sleeper. Probably one of my favorite shows again this season. Galaxy Next Door is the fucking cutest. It just puts the biggest smile on my face. Everything about it I just love. It was a treat. Not really much to spoil, but we got a lot of progress.
Yeah, the beauty in this show is the identity that they have in terms of and I love that, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's kind of like that open conversation. Like I like you. I can't quite tell you exactly how much. It's a lot. I'm still learning in the process and stuff like that.
Your mic was cut now. I think you got to face it a little bit more.
Okay, my bad. But it's the identity and how much they like each other. Finding out how much they like each other. They can't quite always put into words how much they like each other,
right? But
they definitely are getting closer to the point where, you know, they just straight up say it, right? Because in this episode, it was a zoo trip.
Yeah.
It was their first date.
Yeah.
and what made it better is the first date is a family date. You know what I mean?
Right.
He is acting as, you know, big brother / dad, essentially taking, you know, them to the zoo. And she's there. She doesn't know anything about going on zoo trips. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And having this trip essentially planned, and they're going, and now the kids find out. And even when she bumped into, what's her name?
Chayori or some shit like that. The cousin.
Even when she bumped into her, the whole concept of like how these characters progress and like they're kind of seeing things go.
You know what I like about it too, though?
What's up?
It's only the second day. This is right after that night where he confessed. So this is the morning of. So they kind of put this all together too, which is a very interesting thing to think about.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt that.
No, you're good. But what I love the most, and I don't know if you love this part, but I loved the confession to the kids.
Yes, that was my favorite part of the entire episode.
That is so beautiful and important, bro. It was like, and like I said, he's not technically a parent, but as a parent, your children and his siblings, younger siblings at this point, not necessarily have to approve, but that makes everything so much better because these are people he has to tend to before anything, right?
Yeah, and I would go as far as to say that this is completely different than a parent situation. Because a parent, as the kid, you don't have a choice but to accept that. Like, these are siblings where you're like, okay, this is a little bit different kind of concept. I know I'm taking care of them like a quote unquote parent, but it's not necessarily that. Like these are
Right.
my sibling who I promise I'm gonna devote my time to. And the moment it happened, like I knew the kid's reaction was gonna be that. But when it happened, it just was a sigh of relief of something I already knew was gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful. And
then the sister, she had a question she was about to ask, but they got interrupted. What was that question? God, I should have wrote it down.
It was a question?
Yeah, she was gonna ask her. I think she asked her, "What do you like about him?"
Yeah,
That was the question. She asked, "What do you like about him?" And she was about to, answer it. And then she started thinking, "Well, what does he like about me?"
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait till we get that part too.
Yeah, it's so good, man. It's so good. I did not think I was going to be this interested in a show that popped off this early. You know what I'm saying? We still got a lot of episodes left.
We felt the same about The Angel Next Door. We felt the same.
But it was a lot of dancing around in that. They're together right now.
Yeah.
Where does this go from here?
They will stay together. I mean, they also introduced her family.
Exactly. That's where I was going to go next.
You think they're going to come look for her?
They're going to come look for her. And I think I said this in a previous gut check prior. They're going to try to take her ass back. And when they take her ass back, it's going to fucking kill him. Obviously for, the whole Sting thing. And, emotionally.
The opposite.
What do you mean?
What if she starts to get sick because of it? Like the reverse effect, because
or both.
Yeah, like they both start getting direly ill, and it's like, what's going on with you? Why? Yeah, that's why. Because you took me from my man, motherfucker. You took me from my girl. You took my girl. Like, what's going on? We ain't doing that.
That's where I think we go next, and that's where I think the drama's gonna. It's gonna be some bullshit like you can't marry somebody that's not from this island. Blah 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 blah. We have already arranged for you to be engaged by some other fucking loser. Type shit,
some other galaxy that we don't care about.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I think they're gonna fucking. I try to blow past it. I think they're gonna annul it. They're gonna try to annul it, and then they're gonna be apart for a while, eventually, and that's gonna suck for both of us.
All of us,
I should say, both of them and all of us. But let me tell you this, Tel, for real.
What's happening?
I've been that Polo Born Fly on all social media.
And I've been at King Teliano on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mike Check Waifu on Instagram and TikTok. And as always,
in the hood, I'm like Princess Diana.
Mike Check.
You hit the wrong button. Do it.
What wrong button?
The TikTok.
I know I did.
Oh, you hit it?
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't even here, bro.
Later.
You're now tuned into Mike Check Waifu. Is that you?